I feel like forgiveness is about something that happened, and it almost feels like acceptance is about the future. Like,
talk more about that.
And I don't know if this is true or not. I'm just kind of riffing, but it feels like forgiveness is looking towards the past and looking at specific actions or a person that you're in relationship with and letting that shit go. And I think part of letting it go is looking back and understanding that it wasn't about you. I think that's the easiest tool to forgiveness, is to get into a place of empathy where you feel sorry for them or you give them an excuse, but where you are curious enough about them that you can actually figure out why they did that shit. And most of the time it has nothing to do with you. And I think that's really freeing. I think the acceptance piece is for you internally, because I think it's accepting what that relationship looks like going forward. And I also think it's accepting the consequences of that relationship that you have to live with. So like, if you're maybe what you're accepting is that you weren't nurtured properly by your parent. And like, even if you forgive them, even if you let that shit go and you stay in relationship with them, you have to accept that that did damage to you. So I think maybe acceptance and forgiveness are kind of circling each other,
they're like
but they're slightly different.
They're like cousins.
Yes.
Is it
sisters?
Could it be, and truly I'm asking.
I really like that.
Is it possible that if you forgive someone, are you giving yourself permission to love them again? Whereas acceptance is more like a cold, I accept that this is a shitty situation, I'm just moving forward with them. Whereas forgiveness, you're kind of coming back to them, or, does that make sense?
It does make sense. I think forgiveness does feel warmer.
Yeah, there's like a wraparound something about it.
There feels something warmer about it, because but I also feel like forgiveness doesn't absolve, it doesn't remove the harm. Like, you can move forward in that relationship and you are still going to have to deal with the consequences of what happened, regardless if you forgive them or not. Like, that's like, when I think about maybe like a parent neglecting you, you can forgive them for neglecting you, and you can accept, like, you can lovingly be like, I see why that happened. You're not in that space anymore. I also think it's a lot easier to forgive someone when they are not behaving poorly anymore. Because then you really are like, oh, you get it. It feels like they're asking for forgiveness in a way.
Oh, I think that's key, right? Because if they're still acting shitty, all you can do is accept it.
Right.
And acceptance feels like I like how you said it before too. It's almost like forgiveness is like the umbrella term, and like acceptance is like the specific acts. Like, it gets very specific, which I like.
Yeah, and I think, what I've had to accept is that the things I didn't get, and I don't know if I'm necessarily forgiving people for not giving me what I needed as much as I'm forgiving them for like the way they behaved. And I think that's like splitting hairs at this point, but I think that
I think
forgiveness feels more about the other person in an odd way to me.
Yeah. It's in that it's for them or it's about them.
It's about them. And it feels like acceptance feels like it's about me a little bit more. Because I feel like acceptance, like, for instance, if you're in a relationship with someone, they haven't changed, they're never going to change, and you have to accept that. That's very one-sided. That's all about you. They're not engaging and doing anything.
Acceptance you're doing for you.
In the relationship. That's completely a singular event that's happening alone. They're not even thinking about you, probably, and all the work you're having to do to navigate the way they treat you.
But forgiveness, like, is more relational, and something like you need to have like that relationship be current and kind of active to forgive somebody.
I don't necessarily think so. I just think that